Welcome back to the program, guys. Ugh, it's been a hot minute. What has it been? A week, 2 weeks? Who? If you know how long it's been, type in the comments how long it's been. People really need to know that fact. I guess I'll just catch you up on some shit. There was the Comedy Store holiday party last night. That was pretty cool. The Improv is having their holiday party on Wednesday. I'm just gonna try to hit every holiday party. I'm gonna do Flappers. I'm gonna go Haha. I'm gonna go Comedy Magic Club. I'm just gonna become an alcoholic via holiday party. I think it's a good move. They go, what happened to Fahim? They go, he went to all the holiday parties, and he never bounced back. And just I'm like a gremlin. I come out every year just for holiday parties, and they go, he used to be a really great comic. Are you gonna drink that? And I'm just drinking leftovers of people. They go, you can get a full drink, and I go, no, I like the runoff. They go, you want to do a set? I go, no, this is my new life. And then I open up a sewer and I Ninja Turtles it. But it's not a cool sewer where it's like it looks like a pepperoni. It's the graded ones, the square graded ones. Yeah, because normally when you think Ninja Turtles, you think manhole. You don't think, oh, it'd be like a cool way to go into the sewer system. The one that's like on a curb. That would be really cool. Just take that off and then kind of slide through. That'd be more unsettling. The Ninja Turtle way is the coolest. The one with the curb, you would need to have no bones. You need to be like a cat. That'd be like a really lame superpower. You're like an X-Men, but you can squeeze into things like a cat, but that's it. So if there's like a really tight fit, they send like Catman in there. You think it's going to be a variation of Catwoman, but the only skill he has is kind of squishing into tight spaces, and he can fit into shoe boxes. But that's all he can do. Yeah, holiday party was cool. Staff unwinds. You see other comics. It was everyone dresses up. I wish I would have dressed up a little more. I could have. I had a nice jacket, I guess, this H&M jacket, but I just had a t-shirt underneath. The jacket was doing the heavy lifting. The whole time, I felt like someone was going to be like, hey, you're not dressed nice. Like, that would never happen in a million years. But sometimes these things, you have weird inner monologues. Like some guy's going to pop out of the bushes and be like, you should have tried harder. This is a holiday party. And I'd be like, fuck, my biggest nightmare came true. And then the record skips, and then everyone's like, yeah, that random guy out of the bushes is right. How come you didn't try harder? It's just one time a year you needed to dress up. And I'm like, I know. I didn't like any of the clothes I tried on. So I thought people wouldn't be as dressed up. But when I came here, everyone was super dressed up. This guy's wearing a fucking 3-piece suit. People were dressed very nice, and I did feel self-conscious. But whatever. I powered through it. The Comedy Store had theirs last night. The Improv is having theirs Wednesday. I don't know if I already said that or not. Just whatever. It's holiday time. This is kind of cool. So maybe like 3 nights ago at the Comedy Store. And then Bill Burr pops in, and it's always a joy. It's cool to know Bill, but I'm still a fan. It's kind of this weird. He's probably one of those guys too who doesn't like hearing that. He's just a guy. He doesn't like being put on a pedestal like that. But yeah, I'm a real fan of Burr. So I got to catch him. I got to catch him do a pop-in set, and I'm just sitting in the bucket seats at the Comedy Store, and so he gets off. Burr is he's the top guy in comedy right now. And even though he is the top guy in comedy, he's so respectful when it comes to him popping in and doing time. He comes in, he does like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and he says, thank you, good night. Whereas so many other comics at that level of fame would run the light for 30 minutes. They would do whatever they want. They would like bump. But Burr he's a class act in that way. He just does his time, and he's very aware of other comedians and doesn't want to, he doesn't want to make the show go too long. And so I think that's very cool about Burr. So he gets done. He does like 10 or 15, and then everyone's clapping and stuff. And then he comes to the bucket seats, and, I fist bump him and some of the other comics as well. And then he's like, oh, dude, I love... Because I did this Dr. Phil Live. Adam Ray has this show at the Comedy Store called Dr. Phil Live, where he dresses up as Dr. Phil. Legally, I don't know how this is allowed to happen, I'm for it. Look, I want it to keep on going. But yeah, he dresses like Dr. Phil. He has a bald cap. He has a mustache. He's in a suit. It's called Dr. Phil Live. He has guests on. He talks like Dr. Phil. He's done it with a few. He's done it with the Workaholics guys. So they were having a show with the Bad Friend. My boy Santino, Bobby, and so it was Dr. Phil Live with the Bad Friends. Dr. Phil Live, and then so I was at Denny's. I don't know why I'm going into this detail. You don't need to know that I'm at fucking Denny's, but I'm just painting a picture. So I'm at Denny's, and okay, I'm defending Denny's here before I get into the story. People give me shit when I tell them I go to Denny's. I fuck with Denny's, okay? I'm an ally. I'm a Denny's ally. I will go so far as to say Denny's over IHOP. I think IHOP is overpriced. IHOP thinks it's something that it's not. Okay? There's no world in where IHOP is better than Denny's, and their price points are kind of bullshit. It thinks that it's the Four Seasons or something. You are equal or lesser than Denny's. I say lesser than. If you guys want to fight in the comments, help the algorithm, say Team Denny's or Team IHOP. You could throw a third party in there, maybe a write-in vote. Maybe you say Norm's or what's another diner? Like a Sherry's? Who the fuck has been to a Sherry's in a million years? I feel like maybe like 80-year-old people love Sherry's. If someone 20, in their 20s or under 20 said, let's go to Sherry's, you'd be like, he's a Russian spy. You'd be very suspect. I would, if a young person says, let's go to Sherry's, just beat the shit out of them immediately. And then you'll piece it together later. But you'll be happy that you beat the shit out of them because something's up. So Denny's, I'm at Denny's chilling in a booth. And then I'm tagged. I'm getting tagged a lot on Instagram. And then I look at the post. And Adam Ray, he posts this clip. It's from Dr. Phil. I've seen this clip. There are so many legendary clips from Dr. Phil. For some reason, it's a clip factory. I guess just because that show is so fucking absurd. Remember, there's that one where the guy from Bum Fights came on, and he came on the show dressed as Dr. Phil, because Dr. Phil's gonna have the CEO of Bum Fights on and be like, well, what you're doing? Well, you're making homeless people fight each other. That's not cool. He thought he was gonna like yell at this Bum Fights guy, but the Bum Fights guy came on dressed as Dr. Phil, and he knew he had been had. And he's like, I'm not even doing this. And he's like, whoa. He just trolled him by dressing up as Dr. Phil. And no interview happened. So there's that. And there's the Cash Me Outside girl, obviously. She's like the Michael Jackson of Dr. Phil. I don't know why I use that analogy. Just in terms of like the megastar, okay? No one will ever get as famous as Cash Me Outside girl. He crowned her. That was like her Tonight Show. She became a star by saying, cash me outside, I'm going to kill you. I'm paraphrasing. But she was not kind to Dr. Phil. And it must be crazy to be Dr. Phil to see the trajectory that he just kinged or queened this woman. You got to get your act together. You're on a one-way, you got a one-way ticket to nowhere with this attitude, not realizing he's making her a billionaire. Okay, you're going to be sorry you're saying cash me outside and calling me a piece of shit. Well, that's not how life works. And she's making so much fucking money with like a rap career and OnlyFans. I think she's making $1 trillion. I think she makes as much money on OnlyFans as the Saudi government and their oil reserves just by showing titties. Her titties are like oil. That's pretty. Those are good titties. She's of age, so I can say that. So yeah, so there's that clip, and then there's this other clip that's famous from Dr. Phil, where there's this guy called Sexy Vegan, and he wants him to just sit back down, but he's kind of maybe having a manic episode, or maybe that's just the way he is. Who cares if you're on Dr. Phil? Just keep the cameras rolling. It is kind of opportunistic. You look at Dr. Phil episodes, and it's under the guise of helping people, but it's just batshit crazy people. And then the producers people are like, this is gold. This guy's losing his fucking mind. And we have 4K HD cameras, 10 of them. Keep it on the crazy guy. Yeah, cha-ching. Did I say that out loud? Whoops. Cha-ching. I mean, what you gonna do? So he's just moonwalking And Dr. Phil's trying to corral this guy. He's like, okay, oh, what are you? Okay, you need to stop moonwalking. And the guy's just, he's in his socks for some reason. Because I think, well, as a dancer, I do know this is a fact. It is easier to moonwalk in socks than shoes. It's like a corked bat of moonwalking. I mean, if there's moonwalkers out there, type into the comments, say fellow moonwalker here. I can attest to this. Fahim, he's done his homework. Moonwalking in socks is exponentially easier than moonwalking in shoes. Because shoes, you've got traction, you've got friction. Friction is the enemy of moonwalking. Any pro moonwalker will tell you this. And socks mitigate that. You have more slippage. Socks and linoleum, socks and hardwood, magic. It's kismet, if you will. So this guy's moonwalking around in his socks. Dr. Phil's trying to corral him. And he's like, I was rated 9.9 out of 10 from 327 women. What's your talent? What's your fucking talent, you ugly piece of shit? He's really going in on Dr. Phil. And then he does this like twerk in front of him too. He's like, oh, okay, what? You need to stop. You need to stop twerking and moonwalking. I need to. And what's frustrating to me is that I wish that guy was as big as Bad Baby. Maybe he saw that Cash Me Outside and he's like, okay, now it's my turn. Like he thought he was gonna be. It's sort of like Kelly Clarkson became fucking huge from American Idol, and then Ruben Studdard thought that would happen as well. But it's not always the case. Not everyone can be Bad Baby. Not everyone can be Kelly Clarkson. So that's the clip. And so I'm tagged in that because Adam Ray posts that video, that clip on his IG, and he goes, who should I get to play this? And everyone in the comments, I'm like tagged in every comment or every third comment. It's like, at Fahim Anwar, at Fahim Anwar, at Fahim Anwar. And it made me laugh. I'm like, oh, that's neat. That, this is the role of a lifetime. That the people have spoken. It's almost like a Rudy. It's that moment in Rudy where everyone puts their jersey on. Like, Fahim needs to play this crazy moonwalker guy. So then Adam hits me up. He calls me up and he goes, yo, do you want to play this guy? I'm like, I saw the clip. I saw everyone tagging me and stuff. He goes, yeah, so there'll be a portion of the show where he's looking for special talents from the crowd. And then I'll have some people in the crowd do their talent thing. And then you say, I have a talent. And then come on stage and just basically be this guy. And I'm like, okay, yeah, easy peasy. That sounds easy enough. I go, yeah, I'm down. It sounds ridiculous. I can moonwalk. I can do the job. So then it came the night of the show. And I'm just watching the show as a fan. It's such a good show. If you have a chance, go watch Dr. Phil live at the Comedy Store in the main room. It's just controlled chaos, especially that episode. It's insanity, but it's a circus with a bunch of professionals, and it's just a good time. So I'm enjoying it as a fan and as a friend, knowing that I got to go up during the talent portion. So then if you watch you can, I mean, I'm telling you right now, but you can watch it and see what I'm recounting. He's like, does anybody have any special talents in the crowd? Sometimes people have talents. And then one guy was like, I rap. Yeah, man, I'm a freestyle. And he's like, yeah, get up here. And then he was not good. He was not a good rapper. And then someone else was like, no, I could do better than that. Then he went up, and then he was also not good. But then also Bobby was beatboxing for them. Bobby Lee was beatboxing, but Bobby's beatboxing is fucking terrible. He beatboxes like he has a broken jaw or brain damage. So Bobby's beatboxing definitely didn't help. So there was some battle rapping or bad rap going on. And then it felt like enough time for that to breathe, to do my portion. So he's like, does anybody else in the crowd have a talent? And I'm like, I have a talent. So I just like yell from the crowd. Oh, here's the thing. So Adam the only part that he had in his mind was to do the moonwalking. He didn't tell me how to come on stage and in my mind, I'm like, okay, to make this entertaining, to really, I don't know, rev it up, it would just be much more interesting if it was like a WWE entrance where it's running from the crowd and then jumping on stage and like somersaulting on stage. That just seems like way more of a splash. Instead of coming from backstage, that seems so planned and it's just not as exciting. But running through the crowd and doing a somersault on stage and just going, hitting an 11, that I'm like, I'm gonna do it that way. I don't think Adam knew I was gonna do that. So he goes, anybody have a talent? I'm like, I have a talent, and then I just start running through the crowd, and then there's a clip, you can watch it. Maybe I'll throw it up as I'm talking about it with no sound. It just makes no sense. Maybe I'll throw sound on. Who knows? So yeah, I do the somersault on stage, take my shoes off, and I start moonwalking. And then I basically just do an impression of the guy from Dr. Phil. It's such a ridiculous quote, that guy. He goes, I got rated 9.9 out of 10 from 327 women. What's your fucking talent? And he's very angry. He's upset for some reason. What's your fucking talent, you ugly piece of shit? So many questions about that. Where was he rated 9.9 out of 10? Why is that the scale? Where did he lose the 0.1? Where did he lose the point, the tenth of a point? 9.9 out of 10 from 327 women. That's a very specific number. Where were these women? Yeah, where was this poll held? How did other men fare? What were the qualifications? What were the categories? A lot of questions. I'm taking him at his word that he really was rated 9.9 out of 10 from 327 women. So I basically do that. I'm moonwalking across the stage. I take the mic and I do that whole speech. And then it's just a very aggressive moonwalking. And it was a fun. And then we had this planned where security came and picked me up and tried to take me off stage because I'm belligerent. So it was a fun little. Maybe it lasts 20 seconds, 30 seconds. I thought nothing of it, but the response from it has been kind of crazy. Like the most low effort, random ass thing that I did. Everyone in the comments on that video, it's like all overwhelmingly positive. I said my name was Gabe. People are like, I love Gabe. Gabe was great. Gabe came in at 11. Some people are like, who is this guy? They thought it was a real audience member. So again, this ties back to me in the bucket seats watching Burr. Burr's like, because Adam cut it into a clip for IG to promote the YouTube because the YouTube was live, and he had that clip up on his YouTube. So the Comedy Store was tagged in it, everyone. So I guess a lot of the comics saw it. He goes, dude, I love that fucking, dude, what you did on Dr. Phil Live, that was so great. And I'm like, oh, thanks, man, thanks. He's like, I love that clip. He's like, me and my wife love that clip. The original, and then also this too. But like, I guess that makes him die, that clip of the original Dr. Phil guy. So it really spoke to him, my recreation of it. But he's like, yeah, dude, that was so funny. I'm like, oh, thanks, man. So that was neat to get a nice little dapped up by Bill Burr for my moonwalking. Yeah, entertainment is weird. I used to dance back in the day. I'm talking like I blew out my ACLs moonwalking, and I can't do it anymore. I used to dance back in the day before, my bones crumbled, turned into baby formula. I used to dance and stuff like that, and people are like, yo, that moonwalk was so good, or I didn't know you could dance, or you just have these skills that are dormant from dancing in middle school, and then they reveal themselves in the very oddest of ways later on in life. I guess I was uniquely qualified to do this sexy vegan Dr. Phil moonwalking, belligerent moonwalking. So that was neat, guys. All right. What else? What do we? I didn't think I was going to talk about Dr. Phil for that long, that little event there. But am I talking too loud on the? This is a segment where I just do AV technical. Look at my equipment. Levels. Okay, Britney Spears. She's coming out with a book. Maybe this is late. Maybe the news cycle already left. But yeah, Britney has a book out. I guess there's an audio book too. I wonder, I'd probably just read it. I don't know if I would want to listen to it. It'd be a hard voice just to... It did happen to me. Do you think she would talk like that?
They did a conservatorship. And then I dated JT.
I guess it was revealed in that book that JT convinced her to get an abortion. Not a great look. I mean, I'm sure people have done that behind closed doors. If you're JT, you probably don't want that aired out. But they probably, it's not like he put a gun to her head. I think they talked about it. And then ultimately it is her choice, her body. I mean, I wonder if when they had the conversation, was he wearing a fedora? Like, look, I'm like in a really sweet spot in my life. Were they both wearing fedoras? That, it's obviously a very heavy conversation, and Roe v. Wade, abortion, it's a sensitive topic, but it is comical to think about Height, Brittany, and JT just talking about whether or not to keep the baby, and they're both wearing fedoras. Like, I don't know. Like, yeah, it might be cool to be a dad, but I'm also, strike while the iron's hot. And she's like,
I'm always talking about being a mom. Don't make me do this.
he's like, they're just both fidgeting with their fedoras as they plead their cases. Yeah. I don't know if anyone's done this joke or not, but like, if you've convinced like 8 girls to have an abortion, you should be a lawyer. That should be like a storyline on Suits, on the next Suits reboot, like season 10. They go, who's the new guy? He convinced 8 girls to have an abortion. He didn't go to Harvard? And they go, that beats Harvard. That guy convinced. If he can convince those chicks, he can convince a judge on a law case. Yeah, JT, he's been able to thread the needle in terms of like not getting canceled or even not getting shit. Think about all the scandals he's been involved in, right? The Super Bowl halftime performance, he rips the pasty off her titty. Janet gets ran through a meat grinder, and he's just like,
Whoa, what happened? That's crazy. Whoa, her titty popped out? I had nothing to do with that.
everyone just forgets that he was in on it and ripped the thing off, and there's everyone shit on Janet, and her life was ruined and over for a few years. Meanwhile, JT was just doing trolls, like nothing happened. And then the abortion thing, he's like Maverick and Top Gun. He's got skills. Oh yeah, trolls. I did have this take on trolls. That NSYNC has wanted to get back together forever. Obviously not Justin Timberlake, but everyone but Justin Timberlake, who's a part of NSYNC, has been wanting a reunion for fucking ever because they want money, they want relevancy, and then JT has probably been a holdout for so long because he's had a viable solo career. And he doesn't want to. JT doing an NSYNC reunion is a last resort. He's sucked all the solo career oil out of the ground, and the only way he needs to break the glass of NSYNC reunion. And so in his mind, he's not there yet. So he's been the holdout for NSYNC reunion. And what's funny is we're inching closer. We're inching closer to an NSYNC reunion because they're in the movie Trolls. So there's an NSYNC reunion, but via the movie Trolls. And I'm sure that was a half step by JT. He was like, "Look, I don't want to do like a full reunion. Let's do like a Trolls reunion and see how that goes. Like it's a soft open for a restaurant." He's like, "Let's get back together like as Trolls, and then we'll see how what the reception is as us as Trolls. And then we'll do human reunion. But let's do a troll reunion first." So yeah, we'll see. We'll see how the guys. If you love the Trolls reunion enough, we'll get a real life NSYNC reunion. It is interesting too to be alive long enough to see mega bands when you were a kid, or mega groups get older and then have to Voltron together to like sell tickets on a cruise ship or in Vegas. Like I think there was one it was like a boy band tour. It was like New Kids on the Block, 98 Degrees, Backstreet Boys, and they had to combine all those to like sell a fraction of what those bands could do on their own in the early 2000s or late 90s. And that's just kind of interesting with those powers combined. I always say, if you can't afford a megastar like Billie Eilish, tickets are, or we'll say Taylor Swift, we'll go even higher. Nah, she may stick around for a really long time. All right, fuck Billie Eilish too. All right, okay. What about we'll do Ice Spice? Okay, I don't know. She's not gonna stay around, is she? I don't know. I'm not trying to throw shade at Ice Spice. I'm trying to think of someone who, if I had to put money on, like, will they have the longevity of like a Paul Simon or something? I don't think Ice Spice will have a Paul Simon type career. Don't quote me on that. Yeah, if you like, I'm sure Ice Spice tickets are pricey right now, but if you wait enough years, you can catch Ice Spice while sitting down at a very reasonable rate in Las Vegas, and just do that. So yeah, okay, all right. Talked about that. These are just random thoughts I put. Okay, so I was watching this thing on TV. It was Mary Kay Letourneau and Vili Falau, I believe. Seattle's power couple. You know, the teacher and student. They're like the Grandmaster Flash of teachers fucking their students. I think they're the most famous ones. I don't know if they opened the door for all the other ones, but there's probably ones from that's probably like a relationship as old as time. Teachers fucking the students. But they're like the power couple. They were like Tom Cruise and Katie Holmes. They really put it on the map. They made it cool. They should have had merch. That's like a t-shirt that say "See me after class," and then other teachers who fuck their kids could like wear that merch, and other kids who fuck their teachers could also wear that merch. And maybe they go to the shows and they'd be like, "Hi, I'm a student and I fuck my teacher," and like, "Yeah, I fuck my student. We love you," because they go to Barnes and Noble. Can you sign the book about fucking your students? And they go, "Oh, just keep reaching for the stars. Who am I making out this to?" Uh, so yeah, Mary Kay Letourneau, Vili Falau. It's kind of sad. She died. She's dead now. I'm getting bummed out. Oh, that's really, I thought their love was pure. Well, they did have staying power, right? Didn't they end up being a couple? So everyone just thought it was this salacious thing. But look, it was true love. It started with homework assignments. It started with homework assignments, and it turned into something much more. That's kind of like a rom com. That should be. I'm pitching a rom com right now. It's sort of like She's All That, but it's with having sex with your student. And of course, look, and if anyone's watching this and getting offended, these are female teachers fucking their young male students. Everyone's on board for that. The other way, it's you're a monster. But this is, apple pie, all American, older teachers, female teachers fucking young male students. Everyone can get behind that. That's just high fives all around. That's just you go girls holding a champagne glass for the teacher and high fives to the kid. Yeah, so this thought I had was you keep on seeing these stories about teachers having sex with their students. There's so many across the nation. Every couple of weeks there's those articles. And that I mean I had this thought that if it's happening on the regular, like people are actually carrying out with that, if there's that many teachers who are having sex with their students, imagine how many more teachers have crushes on their students but don't act on it. And that's interesting to think about too. So there's a lot of teachers who actually fuck their students. There's hordes more who just secretly have crushes on their student but don't act on it. And that's not a great feeling, but they're not acting on it. The same is true of like pedophiles. This is a real rabbit hole. See, this is the type of shit that you do on a stand-up show and the show goes south very quickly. Or once you hit a sensitive topic or I'm talking the way I'm talking right now on a stand-up show, as soon as you say pedophiles or rape or some sort of buzzword, it's almost like there's a shot clock. It's like a bomb. There's a bomb in the room. There's like a social awkwardness bomb in the room that you have to diffuse. You have like 5 to 10 seconds to get a laugh from the room before you lose them once you say pedophile. But in a podcast, we're just talking. You're by yourself. You're in a cubicle. You have earbuds in. No one can hear. No one's looking at you. Your HR team doesn't know what's up. So we can kind of talk out these thoughts a little. There's more time on the bomb clock. Okay. So yeah, think of how many pedophiles there are who actually have had sex with kids. That means there's way more. There's guys out there and girls or whatever who are attracted to children but don't act on it, and that's interesting. I don't know. Did that give you nightmares or something, or do you not like knowing that fact? But just statistically, just using logic, that has to be true, right? If that many people fuck kids, there's way more who are attracted to kids but don't act on it. You know? It's sort of like the difference between people who overeat too much and are like 500 pounds, and then the people who like pizza but are like, I should have a kale salad. I don't know if that's a great analogy or not, but I'm going with it. All right. I think, did we hit a time? Did we hit a time limit? I think that's enough. We talked about some shit. These are random ones, I'll just say. So I was in Dallas visiting my uncle. My parents were there. My brother was there. Maybe I've talked about it on the pod before. My brother is a savant when it comes to saying words wrong, just a fraction wrong. I don't know how he does it. He does it time and time again. So someone was playing, we went to JFK, where JFK got shot. It's weird that that's like a tourist attraction. So basically all hours of the day, there's just people on a street. I don't think there's any other tourist attraction that's like that, where there's people stand there. The street is functioning. Cars use it. Do you think people who drive on that street just are afraid that it's still like, maybe I'll get shot? Like, you're totally not important enough to get shot. That is flattering though, huh? If someone tries to shoot you, part of you's like, whoa, all right, I leveled up. People want to kill me. And they have X's where the shots were. So there's like 2 there, 1 over there. And it's very bizarre. It's one of the saddest moments in American history. A president got shot. His brains got blasted out of his head. His wife had to see it. And then there's just like tourists standing on the X like, this is where the president of the United States died. Did you get it? They have to jump into traffic. That'd be great if one of them got hit by a car and they died. They died trying to just thumbs up where JFK got shot. It becomes part of the tour. Like, this is where JFK got shot. And this is where Travis from Iowa got hit by a car because he was trying to get a nice Instagram photo. So why am I talking about this? Yeah, so we went there to see where JFK got shot. And then my brother, some car was driving around playing really loud music. I think they're playing the Fugees, like I Got Five on it. And my brother goes, is that the Fijis? And I go, what? He goes, is he playing the Fijis? Again, brilliant. How do we harness this? He's like Rain Man. The Fijis. It's perfect. It's like a variation of the Bee Gees. It's a combination of the Fugees and the Bee Gees and maybe Fiji water. It's amazing. You can't make that up. There's so many. I need to make a list, but let me just recap some of the ones he's done. He's done Jackie Chang. He's done not Hugh Jackman. So the actor Hugh Jackman, he called him Jack Human. Instead of KRS-One, he called them CRX-One. CRX as in the model of Honda. He called them CRX-One. Those are the only ones I can remember right now. And then now you can add the Fijis to it. Someone should make a band where they're like the Bee Gees, but they do Fuji songs. But they do it really high. And they're dressed like Barry Gibb. All right, there's that. I guess this other factoid. We were having, it's not really a factoid, like I'm a fucking popsicle stick or a Snapple cap. It's just a thing that happened. Maybe an anecdote. It's a better word. We were at just getting breakfast at this place in Dallas by my uncle's place. And so this cafe, this breakfast place, it's kind of a weird, it's a weird restaurant. You can get chocolates. You can get like fancy French chocolate and stuff. But then they also served eggs and breakfast. And then you can get candy as well, just like Jelly Bellies and other stuff you would get at a movie theater. So they had these flat screen TVs throughout the cafe, and they just had on a loop fancy chocolatiers making chocolates. You know, they're dressed in those, it's almost like chef outfits, but it's for chocolate. And they just had it running over and over again. So we split an omelet, and I'm just watching this chocolatier footage. And I had this thought, and I just said it to my brother. I go, do you think mom and dad would be more proud of me, less proud of me, or equally proud of me if I was a chocolatier instead of a stand-up comedian? It's just a fun thought experiment, you know, because they really weren't on board for comedy. And then I'm just seeing this guy, this grown man making chocolates, but it's high-end chocolate. You got to go to France to be like a dope chocolate maker. It's just an interesting thought experiment. I wonder if I was a dope chocolate maker, would my parents be more proud of me, the same as being a comedian, or less proud of me? Like, would they be less proud of? I don't know. It's hard to say. And then this became a game, just other professions of would they be more proud of me, equally proud of me, or less proud of me? And then what was some other one? Oh yeah, so then the one after chocolatier, I'm trying to think. Well, let me try to answer this for myself. I don't know if we came to a conclusion. Would they be more proud of me? Because I'm making chocolates, and that's not great for an immigrant dad, right? What does your son do? He makes chocolates instead of he's a comedian. It sounds like a wash. Yeah, like I'm Willy Wonka or something. Maybe I saw Willy Wonka and it really made an impact on me. And then I'm like, I'm gonna be a I go, there's no such thing as Willy Wonka. I guess I'll be a chocolatier. Yeah, maybe like a bipolar chocolatier is the closest you can get to Willy Wonka. That's a tough one. I think he would be equally. Now you know what it is. It would depend on how successful I am as a. I think it would be the same thing as a stand-up comedian, and then where I land financially would determine whether they were proud or not. If I had a mansion and crazy cars for making chocolates, they'd be into it. Yeah. And okay, so then the next thought experiment, the next profession was, what if I was a backup dancer? Do you think they'd be more proud of me, less proud of me, or equally proud of me? So that's interesting. In the comments, what do you guys think? Like maybe you can logic this out, because I'm too close to it. It's hard for me. If there's people with similar backgrounds, with like tiger moms and just, oh, this is another thought I mean, this is like free association. So Joe Jackson, right? Everyone looks at Joe Jackson as very abusive to Michael Jackson and the Jackson Five, and what a monster. But he was just doing kind of what any Asian parent does. I think white people are so not used to that, and they're like Joe Jackson, but like that's what Asian parents do on the reg. But instead of singing and dancing, it's becoming a cardiologist. Yeah, so there's that. Would they be more? Would they be more proud, less proud, equally proud if I was a backup dancer? And then I think less proud. My brother thought more proud. He's like, no, they know who Lady Gaga is, and they could tell people that Lady Gaga. He backup dances for her, the name recognition part of it. And I'm like, I don't know. And then we bumped it up a bit. I go, what about choreographer? Because there's an air of authority to it. I'm telling them the moves to do, and they bought into that. Like I think, yeah, we agree. Choreographer is a way to get more credibility, because then I'm kind of like the boss of dance. The boss of dance. All right, guys, we did it. That's the pod. Tune in next time, guys. Click on the link below, subscribe, all that stuff. Hit the bell. Oh yeah, I put a Fahim Works on Stuff extended version. It's 30 minutes long. Check that out, guys. Come on, subscribe. And then the special's coming out, I think, late February. So keep an eye out. Yeah. All right, guys. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.